Purple Protoss always wins, says Greth. And that did hold true this game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Greth knows things. He drinks, I guess, and he knows things. He's a Tyrion relative. Wait, what the fuck? I did not realize that benzene is 128 by 1112.
By 96, you mean?
No, it's by 112.
Mine says 96.
What the fuck?
Mine
Are you
says
kidding me?
128 by 96. Yeah.
Mine legit, the stream can verify, mine legit says 128 by 112. What the hell?
Yours is correct, because 96 is destination. 112 is...
Yeah, what the hell?
Mine says 128 times 96. Yeah, whatever.
What?
Some Blizzard thing.
Alright. Alright. Alright.
I imagine if we submit this bug report, it would be like the absolute bottom of the barrel. Like, map size is not displaying properly.
Watch, they'll fix it automatic. Oh my gosh, these names.
Oh, Grant says on stream it says 96.
What? Alright, we're going back to this rep, and I'm gonna take a picture with my phone and like upload the GIF. What the fuck? Are you shitting me? If he's lying, I'm gonna have to go back to the stream and review this. This is either like high level fuckery, or I'm just don't know what the fuck is going on.
What if it's a tag team fuckery? What if me and Greth?
And you guys are just beyond my level. I mean, you are an expert resident troll, so you know it's a possibility.
Anyway, at the top right, we have Sack of Feces, which I'm not sure which one of the whether it's Pete or Melonmonkey. But
yeah, I don't know. We're gonna call him. We're gonna call him Soph.
Okay,
and on the bottom left-hand corner, we have Telemachus, which sounds like a Greek god or a Roman. No, a Greek god.
I think it was a Greek hero.
Oh, was he actually a Greek hero? It sounds like something like that. It has a good sound. It rolls off the tongue.
He was the son of Odysseus and his
wife
Penelope.
Oh,
yes.
Was it? Yeah. Okay, yeah. That explains the familiarity I'm feeling.
So anyway, we do have a really early scouting probe from Sack of Feces. Actually, no, wait, this is PvZ. I thought this was PvP for a second. I'm like, what the hell is going on? No, so this is super safe. He's going for the probe scout and then looks like 10 forge. This is super safe.
Yeah.
Makes sense on maps like this, I would say, because of the fact that there is a potential for Zerg to cheese more, I think, when on maps where they can't expand as easily because of the early scouting probe. So definitely not a bad call. Maybe not the most economically sensible, but it is going to pay off here, I think. Although, again, he should recognize that I don't think that there is going to be 6 livings in time for this pool, although it's hard to say.
Yeah, it's always hard to say. I'm always sitting here at these moments. It doesn't look like it, but I'm always stressed. I'm like, fuck, did I mess this up? Oh, let's see how close. It's going to be close, but
Yeah.
Actually, no, yeah, I think there will be. There's still 100 HP left. I think he's got it right.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at
never mind.
Yeah.
Only enough money to make one, because they got the hatchery down nice and quick, which is fine. Gonna play it ballsy, knowing the rush distance is kind of large. Gonna go for the necks, and then throw the cannon down.
I think that was just really good awareness too, because he saw that only one egg popped up when the pool finished. That generally means that there can only be one group of lings. And he confirms it with the probe. So this is definitely at least tier 2 or tier 1 now that I'm looking at it. The awareness, the decision making, very good from both players so far. Nice wall as well. Very standard wall here. I think the pylon could have been back one more unit.
Probably, yeah.
To fit a few more cannons in case of a Hydra bust or something like that, but it's still not bad. Waiting to place that gateway down.
Alright, so we got some Zergling chasing. Dude, I still can't get over how good Vivian's grasp of how to move around lings are. It's just... I have more trouble keeping my probe alive against her than I do against almost anybody I play.
Yeah, I would say, like, I'm still struggling with that whole topic. I'll talk to you later about it. The whole potential troll thing, but we'll talk about it. More pointedly to this match, we do see the third is being taken at the near gasless third, so this likely means some sort of mid-game oriented build, like the 5-hatch, 6-hatch Hydra, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, usually it'll be aggressive. It would be a little bit odd to try to just turtle off of this. There's no exposed base, there's no way that makes sense. We're gonna get Ling speed.
That's interesting. So it might be an all-in. Now that he's chased out the probe, it might be an all-in. So definitely I would like to see the probe. Yeah, the probe is going back now.
Lings are being made, so it's at the very least it's gonna be Ling aggression, but it could easily be, fuck you, I want you to die right now.
Yeah. The Blink production. It's going. He's making drone now. Yeah. So it's just getting a decent, maybe a few cannons, and if he's lucky enough to get a run by in like that, that may be what he's going for. It could also be just to deny scouting. He's getting speed in so many lanes, and maybe he's gonna do a follow-up cheese after that of some sort.
Make Hydra? Hydra? These lings are rallied in very weird spots.
Yeah, absolutely. He has a pylon that he's gonna. Looks like he's trying to cannon rush this hatchery, but it's way too late, and there's way too many links for that. I don't think it's ever gonna work. And
Yeah.
the hatchery, it's in vision of the hatchery. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. Yeah, it's super in vision. He can even see the pylon there. Wow. It was a cute attempt. I would
only
say
showed
that
3
made,
so far. Only showed 3.
more
Oh, this cannon is like 100% exposed. The zealot's out on the map. No, this is such a mistake. Ah! Oh god. Oh god, the zealot's gonna get devoured, and some of the lings are just gonna run by, and they'll kill a cannon because there's no probes being pulled. Pull the probes! Ah! No, they're already inside. They're on top of the cannon. The cannon will go down. He's gonna be exposed to a ling all in, but will it be a ling all in? It sure looks like it. Yes, lings are gonna stream in, and I really doubt he can live this. The one zealot is getting surrounded. It's out in the open. Soph is headed to elimination here. No real way for him to survive this. No panic cannon in the middle. He will have a Corsair coming out. Lings smartly targeting the pylon and the natural. A bunch of lings spilling into the probe line. It's really enough that it's hard to even drill. He's trying to drill, but he's just losing probes rather than actually killing any lings. So there goes the economy. GG is called. Telemachus will take game 1 using aggressive tactics.
And I'll be right back again, just very briefly.
Okay. Good luck. Alright, time to see what was going on stream. Time to see what was going on stream. See if I was being trolled. Seeing if I was being trolled. See if I was being trolled. See. Oh, it's replaying. Alright. Oh, I know you see my screen, but you could have been deceiving me. Deceiving me, telling me wrong things, but I need to see if my mind is going to be absolutely blown. Alright, let's see this shit. Let's see this shit. Oh, you guys can't see. Right now you just see my face. That would be a cool anomaly, though. So many games left to go. Oh god, I was already at 3 hours, close to 3 hours anyway. Okay, Greth's just fucking with me. I was about 90% sure, but I wasn't 100% sure. Weirder things have happened. Oh, he's back. He's back.
You know what? Rehost that replay, please. The same one we just did.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, I don't even have to enter it. I'm gonna. Okay. All right, you can back out now. Now I'm gonna show you something really cool.
Wah! He's gonna show me something really cool, legendary.
Watch, I'm gonna show it too. That it says 128 by 112 on mine too. That's what I'm gonna show you. No, I'm just kidding. No, because this is amazing. I've never seen anything like this. Okay. All right, check your stream chat.
Check my stream chat. Have you linked something? Oh, I see it, yeah. Yo. Oh, well, maybe you have to link it again. I was like back in time, and then now I just skipped to the present and it didn't load any past chat.
Okay, I'll send it to you on Discord then. Here you go.
That also will work. That is an acceptable alternative. That is weird. That is genuinely weird. The strange happenings of Starcraft Brood War, where maps appear as different sizes for different people.
And this version of Fighting Spirit, I couldn't see the preview for it. I don't know.
The weirdness shall come. 3 hours 10, where I don't even know if we're halfway through this cast. I'm getting a little scared. We'll see how it goes.
My guy, because I did not sign up for all this. I thought that was going to be like a 3 hour or something. I'm trying to eat at some point.
You got to do what I did. I ate during the first hour of the cast. You guys probably could tell, but
oh,
I was
100%. I heard you. I was being jealous as hell. I was like, I heard you like. I'm like, God damn it, lmaster.
Is that what I sound like when I eat? Oh.
Not as bad, but it definitely it wasn't mashed potatoes, but it was definitely like a protein bar.
Not bad, yes. I had a little bit of ice cream and I had some peanuts and some vegetables.
Wow. This is how the fit and chiseled lmaster snacks.
If I was fit and chiseled, I would agree. But right now, I am not. I'm like I don't look fat, but I definitely don't look chiseled.
Well, I guess that makes me feel bad then. But anyway, at the top right, we have Sack as the white Protoss.
In the bottom left-hand corner, as the red Zerg, winner of last game, we have Telemachus.
And Telemachus scouting in the common direction. In case anyone doesn't know, you always want to clockwise on Fighting Spirit, or towards your bridge. But clockwise is also good because you get to see the natural of the Protoss.
I really like Bridge Scout in CVP. It's just so satisfying. Like, should I overpull or should I not overpull? Bam. Easy decision. It also a lot of Protosses lately against me. I don't know why this changed. On Fighting Spirit have been scouting Circuit Breaker style and using that and being very annoying. So I've been liking to Bridge Scout as a sort of meta response, being like, oh, you check there. No, I'm Bridge Scouting. You're gonna find me last, and I get a free 12 hatch.
Yeah, that happened to me maybe like once out of all the times that I've ever done that circuitous path. Like, so apparently like Bridge Scouting isn't that common either. So I guess it was like the one time you didn't Bridge Scout, I did that roundabout scout, and then when I played no one, he did the Bridge Scout, and
he always Bridge Scouts. He always Bridge Scouts.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's like a little mind game stuff.
He
but
loves Bridge Scout.
This Protoss, he plays a lot like me, it seems like, because like when I play ladder at least, or when I play tournament, I play super safe in PvZ. Like I do like I mentioned last game, which is the you scout with the pylon probe, and then you go like 10 forge and you scout with that probe.
Oh, you go 10 forge?
Yeah, well, in ladder or in tournament. Like if I'm doing practice games, I like to go 12 forge. Like we're on 2-player maps, you can go 12 forge a little bit easier if you because you know where they're coming from. But I mean, like 10 forge is just so much safer.
Yeah, I usually go for like 11 or 12 forge. It's so rare. Like I can't even remember the last time I got 9 pulled, or 4 pulled, or 5 pulled. It's been a long time.
I've been 5 pulled too many times. That's my issue, I think. So like that's why I just stopped. Yeah. I'm never I would rather take the economic hit and then try to outplay them later than straight up in the first minutes, you know what I mean?
I feel you.
But yeah, it looks like really standard.
I like Greth's way of combining the names. If you combine Telemachus with Sacrifices, do you get Telemarketus? It's time for some telemarketers to hit us up.
Okay.
Or you get Sack of Telemarketers. Or you get Telefeces.
Yeah, I was thinking about Telefeces. Like, is that like when they like?
He made double cannons. He's like having none of this shit from last game. He's like, fuck, I got Ling Holed. I need double cannons. Obviously, you don't really need double cannons, Mr. Sack. There are better options than double cannon.
On the other hand, though, he did like when he came inside, he saw that the hatchery was late, and he also saw the pool was up. So like maybe he thought that like, oh, maybe I missed a couple links coming out or something like that. Like I don't know. So yeah, but this second pylon is definitely suspect over here. I'm not agreeing with this one. I think. I think it might have been because his gateway wasn't being. Is it possible that gateway wasn't? Yeah, this is the sour spot of the pylon coverage, because pylon coverage goes better towards the top right and bottom left of the if you draw like a grid or surrounding it. So yeah, this was the sour spot, and he placed his pylon too far to the left.
Yeah, it should be center. And you want the gateway flush against the right side, and then you have a nice little 1 hex gap. Good probe so far from Sacrifices. It'd be nice to get into the main, but he's keeping his probe around the map, taking a look at what's going on.
Yeah, after you see Zerg taking a third base, I don't know if you saw that yet or not, but there's like last game he went to go check for a fourth hatchery at a fourth base. So I'm like the chances of that are so
Yeah.
infinitesimally small. Like you never want to do that. It's better to just try to be between the main and the natural to spot the gas timing, the attack.
Yeah, definitely. And the reason Zergs will never do that is almost never is because it's going to inherently block SimCity because you're going to be missing a hatch at another base. Or you'd have to go like 6 hatches before getting your tech, which leaves you really vulnerable to some other stuff.
Not to mention that, but you'd also, if you're getting 4 bases with 4 hatcheries, that's like a really spread out methods of production. Like you're not gonna be able to defend all 3.
Well, I was thinking like, you know, you put third if the third hatch is at a third natural, then the fourth hatch could naturally go into the main, and then you're still defending 2 areas, but
Yeah.
it's gonna reduce you having a hatch for your SimCity at the right times.
Yes, that too. So he is going to get the pro back in, which is really nice. Is he going to see the fire though? I don't know if he saw that. Yes, he saw it. Absolutely, he saw it. So that was.
But
very
he
good for him.
also saw no second gas, so he shouldn't be too worried. And indeed, he's not. He's going straight for Citadel. Going straight for Citadel. Just skipping that Stargate. Who needs a Stargate? Man, if I had a dime for each time I heard that one. I don't know what that one was.
Ban breath.
Oh yeah. It's probably a chat response.
Yeah.
Ban Greth. Does Greth have to put up with that in his own server? I wonder. I wonder. When he casts these people and roasts them, do they lose their mind? Ban Greth. Oh, we're going to have some 4-gate slots. 4-gate slots. We got +1. Looks like this is actually pretty well timed here. I'm liking this. So this should be a pretty... Oh, Archives is weird. A little bit of a head-scratcher to not have speed with this.
5 hatched Hydra meantime for the Zerg. Very standard. Evo in a slightly suspect spot in the third base, but I think this should still be okay if you like from the midpoint and maybe kind of. I guess if you put the Sunkens in the same place that lmaster likes to put them, then this is a good technique. But in general, I don't like if you look at this third base from Zerg. Tell me why you can't use your why you can't place the second hatchery to the right of the first hatchery and down 1 unit, so it makes like that kind of wall, and then you put the Sunkens under the first hatchery.
Yeah, that certainly is one option you can go with.
Okay. Alright, so we are doing the lmaster hatcheries, the lmaster Sunkens that are forcing drones to go all the way around them each time. So maybe I would suggest like maybe leaving like one space between the 2 Sunkens here would make more sense, I think, than this.
So this is interesting that he's done this. I mean, I guess he just had the money, so I guess perhaps the timings weren't as crisp as I thought they were. This is a bit late. Like, you'd want to be hitting with this closer to 6:45-ish. 6:30, 6:45 if you're going for a Stargate-less speed lot attack. So the timing's a bit later, and he is just going to go into High Templar behind it. So I like that the Archives is really crisp, but I would have committed to either going for like 1 gate into Templar or going for the speed lot attack. This is kind of trying to do both. And actually, Telemachus has decided to make mutas, so we'll see how this goes. He's going to need to morph these into Archons for sure, and then we'll see how the micro is. Speed's going to be kicking in here shortly for these Zealots, but there is 2 Sunkens at both bases. So really, this is a bit annoying for Sacrifices because he has to sacrifice the Zealots to buy a little bit of time, but he shouldn't be able to do too much with them with 2 Sunkens and all the muta here and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, wow, they are really bugging out.
He still hasn't added cannons or any sort of anti-air in his base. He hasn't even started Templar.
Oh, that's rough.
You need to make Archons as soon as
He's got Templar. He's got Templar.
Yeah.
He's got 1 Archon. Oh, he should not move out though. 1 Archon moving out makes no sense. Oh, that's such a bad decision. Okay, never mind. He's turning around.
Maybe that was just a scare tactic.
The lack of cannons is a big issue. Archons can defend muta okay, especially at this level in most cases, but you got to have some cannon support. Like, you can't just not have cannons.
Absolutely, and also if you look at his gateways, he's building Dragoons first, which I also don't agree with. Dragoons are, especially in low numbers, are really just not good against
Mutals. They're fantastic to have once you get up to like 3 or 4 control groups. Then Dragoons can form the... as he decides to kill his own base, can form the backbone of a mid-game army. But now we got a bunch of Lings running in here, trying to get some shots off on the Archon, some pretty good shots, but now the muta take a hit and another hit. Ooh. That's 2 good hits. Like I said, Archons do generally defend muta pretty well at this level, although the Archon derping out just a bit here, really trying to micro against those Zealots. Storm goes down, though. Muta getting very softened up here. So defense going okay, and really this is the wrong focus for Telemachus. Like, he doesn't want this third to get up, but what he doesn't realize... Oh, no. All right. What he doesn't realize is that the main was cannonless and the natural was cannonless at the same time. So the harass that could have been done on the probes with those Muta would have just been crazy. Just go where the Archon isn't. Definitely the wrong tactical decision there from Telemachus.
I feel like he had one half of the equation, honestly, because he had the Overlord inside the main. That's why I believe he decided to go for Mutalisk in the first place. He saw there was no cannons, no Stargate, nothing. He saw the Templar Archives, he saw the gateways. He's like, okay, Mutas beat this. But then he didn't realize just how strong Mutas can beat it. Because, as you mentioned, the one Archon can't be in 3 bases at once. It's not a Corsair that can just chase Mutalisks away. And he was aware that there was no cannons, so he definitely could have, instead of trying to bust a third, he could have just done horrible economic damage to the Protoss player.
He would have easily killed, you know, a group to maybe even 2 groups of probes, depending on how it was handled, with no cannons. I mean, oh god.
Yeah, at that point you can let the Protoss have a third Nexus, because it takes longer to rebuild 12, 16 probes than it does to make a Nexus. So you set them more behind in terms of time and money, because again, 12 probes is more expensive than a Nexus, right? So try to focus. I know that being on equal bases with Protoss is scary when you're Zerg. Like, you don't want to be the 3-base Zerg against the 3-base Protoss, generally speaking, but the third base is only one half of the equation. You know, you don't want to focus on that as like the major issue.
And it's one of those things too. I mean, if you have top level Muta micro, yeah, you can usually beat Archons pretty comfortable with your Muta, but unless you just know that your micro against that is on point, it's a really risky decision, and it probably doesn't even pay off as much. Like, honestly, I think I would probably rather have killed 15, 20 probes with my Muta than deny the third base.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. And the other thing that it's important to realize that when you're microing against Archon, you don't do the standard micro, like, unless you're an absolute god, like as you mentioned, where, like, you know, the perfect range. You just kind of declump your Mutalisk so they form a ring around the Archon, so it's only ever hitting at most 1 Muta at a time. And there's that the UMS micro map, the micro tournament map, where I think they give you 12 mutas to kill 2 Archons, and it's definitely doable. It's been done before. So with your 11 mutas, you could have easily killed that Archon if you just didn't do the standard one. But here we have a Scouting DT going into the third base. He's going to come in and see Lurker, which should prompt.
For all of this talk, Telemachus has done a very good job ecoing up here. He's got a very healthy eco. He's got a 4th base. He's got Lurker. Like, he's done a good follow-up. Sacrifices actually was doing a pretty good job here for a while, but he has been a little slow to add gateways, so money's drifting a bit high now.
Yeah.
And his army is not quite big enough to be really threatening yet. Like, this is probably even not big enough to be out on the map.
Absolutely not. And the supplies are even too, which is generally in favor of the Zerg, especially at this. But right now it looks like he's going to throw away 12 Zerglings. Like, I don't think I would be comfortable throwing this against 2 cannons in the first place, right? Like, because, like, units are going to be here anyway. Upgrades have also slowed down for Sack here, because he's not getting his forge out.
Sack is getting into a pretty bad spot. Third base is lurkered up. He won't be able to break that. There's not even an obs with this. And there's Adrenal on the way, so we're about to have cracklings, and there's no real signs yet of him making a good anti-hive comp. Like, he needs to really start trickling in Templars, and he basically needs a 4th base. Because right now he obviously hasn't gone for quick gateway power, so he doesn't have any sort of third base aggression to have here. Well, he's just going to run in here, I guess, and end up suiciding. These Lings will eventually clean this out.
Throwing away your army to do basically no damage is, like, pretty much the biggest no-no in all of PvZ. Like, you can't ever do that. Like, this this army, he could have easily secured a 4th and a 5th right now. He could have just chilled at the bottom right.
And that would be the right decision, because, again, he missed the opportunity he had to have, like, a... Oh, he needs to send more Lings over, though. Or these Archons... Okay, never mind. Lurker's finishing will also do the trick. Yeah. At least save the Archons, man. At least save the Archons. Okay, it does at least save the Archons, so that's good.
You got him out. The Lings are like, alright, see you later, bro. And look, he walks around them tactfully. He's like, oh, nope, he's gonna go for it.
But, like, in some cases with 3 bases, you can pressure the Zerg really hard and expand behind it. But there wasn't really enough army, so the best call for Sacrifices at this point would have just been to double expand, start moving into Reavers and a Hive comp, and that would be the way to go. Unfortunately, he's continued to make a lot of Dragoons. I really don't think that's a good decision. I would pause that gas and just start adding Templar to your army. You need Templar and Dragoons. I don't see a single Templar right now out at all. At all. And there's only 2 Archons, which you just can't fight Hivelings without a combination of Storm and Archon.
You know, it does need to be said, though, that defending that base by Telemachus, I guess he wasn't aware that there was no obs present, because he threw away like 30 supply of lings at least. Like the
Yeah,
supplies were even before that engage, and now Sack is 40 supply up.
Yeah.
And he's climbing further and further up. These lings are coming out piecemeal, which is not how you make efficient use of your Kraken Hive upgrades.
Yeah. No, there is an obs and only 3 lurkers, and the Sunkens aren't done, so this actually might break the base.
Now it's bad, yeah, because he threw away like 40 supply lings up.
Yeah.
At least.
Let's see. Now, Crack should be done for sure, and we are about to have Adrenal Claws coming in, but there's these Archons here, and they're just so tanky. Now, the Archons are very low on health, so once that Archon goes down, it looks like this is actually going to get held. That Lurker's going to help, and once the Archon falls, he should really target fire down the Archon. Well, I guess too late for that, but he should be able to flood enough lings from his bases to kill this base off, or to save this base, rather, if he gets them to actually fight rather than stand right next to the Archon.
Yeah, this Archon's really, really low right now. He just needs to engage it properly. Yep, and that's how it goes. And the trickle in.
Yeah. So now Protoss is going to take his turn, wasting some units here.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, he's attacking his own. No, he's not. Never mind. I thought he was going to kill his own gas.
As a person who has recently experienced a similar phenomenon, which is where you make a bunch of Dragoons, right? The problem is that you know that you need Dragoons as the backbone of your army, right?
Yeah.
That's point 1. Point 2 is that there were a lot of lurkers out, right? Like, so you know that there's more, so you can't have no Dragoons, right? But then you keep taking these like suboptimal trades, so you keep having to replenish your Dragoon numbers, which cuts into your gas, which cuts into your ability to make Archons, and you're stuck in this never-ending loop where your Dragoon count is just not sufficient enough to fully go into making Archons and Zealots and Templar. So like I definitely feel for Sack here, because like at any point Zerg can just make 12 Hydras, switch to Lurker, and then suddenly your whole army is fucked, right? So
I don't know, because I feel like if you, because you know, once Defilers are out, like Dragoons are pretty close to useless, so I like to go almost pure Zealot Archon Templar, because you know you can deal with lurkers pretty well, like offensive lurkers with storms and stuff like that, and they're going to burrow poorly. And yeah, you can attack into spots, but usually fighting Hive Zerg isn't about attacking into spots anyway.
You're right about that, but even in that first transitionary point, when like the first Defilers come out, like most Zergs, at least at our level, are not going to be able to like swarm push you all the way back.
No,
to your
that's
main,
true.
So your Dragoons are useless the entire time. You can always pull back a little bit more, and your Dragoons are instantly good again. You know, so
and having like 4 to maybe a control group of Dragoons in a late game army, I think is fine. But anything more than that, I think is generally overkill.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He has pure Dragoon now. He's at like 16 Dragoons, I think.
Yeah, he's got way too many.
And no Templar, no Archons. Like
no, there's no Defiler. There's no Defiler, so that's a small saving grace. But Dragoons just don't fight for crap against Zerglings either.
Yeah, I also want to give props to Sack for he's been doing a Wraith. I mean, not Wraith Harass.
Wraith, huh?
He's been doing a Shuttle Harass. He just storm dropped the 3rd of Telemachus, which is exactly the kind of thing that you want to do. You want to do. As a Protoss player, you want to make sure that the Zerg is constantly spending larva on more drones as opposed to more army, so that you can keep that advantage for a little bit longer, maybe sneak an expansion or 2 out of it.
Oh man, Abstract Daddy saying I don't have the time to like, he says I want to play again, but I don't have the time to do straightforward practice. And I would say, hey man, forget about doing straightforward practice. Just log on and grab some buddies and play a couple games, have some fun. Play some 3v3 BGH, play some 2v2s, find someone you like to play with, and just play some informal 1v1s. Don't need to have time to practice. Brood War's not, you don't have to practice to play and have fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell a really short story. So there was this guy I used to play with, like probably almost daily, back in like 2003, 2004, 2005. It was, you know, we were all bad. It didn't really matter. You know, like 100 APM, nothing significant, right? And we would play FFA, BGH, we would play Race Wars on killing fields and stuff like that, right? And then he took a break from Brood War, didn't play for like 10 years, and you know, obviously meanwhile I've been playing, and now he went into like this monk mode where like he has like no internet access, no nothing. And 2 years after that, he comes back, he's like, yo, I want to play some Brood War. So what do? We jump into West and we play 3v3 BGH, me, him, and another friend of ours. Some of the most fun like I've had playing Brood War in a while, you know, like you don't have to be playing competitive 1v1 to have fun, that's for sure. Yep. It does make you better. It makes the other modes more fun for you too, I think, when you're not just getting trashed on all the time. But if you just want to play, then just play, my dude.
Yeah, and find people that are close to your level. I mean, there's some good servers for that. Like it's very possible to find games, whether that's 1v1, 2v2s, 3v3s, with people that are close to your level. And what you'll find too is if you are playing the bigger games, the 2v2s, the 3v3s, you know, the stuff that's just you're just clowning with friends, you'll find that you don't feel trashed on by good players. Those good players end up getting wrecked as often as not because of the format of the game.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell you how many times I'm sure Jealous has gotten owned in FFAs or 3v3 BGH against players where he's one of the best in the game by far.
Don't remind me, dude. Let's not talk about such subjects, right? So, Abstract Daddy is Abstract Daddy. I'm pretty sure this is the alias of the guy whose name was Diarrhea Terran. Hence the love he's showing for Sack here, because he's like, I'm definitely rooting for this Protoss because it's solid names. They're definitely on the same wavelength here. Maybe you could reach out to them.
Okay, so here I have to talk about something that I don't really like, and that is what Sack is doing right now, which is basically he's camping his army kind of outside of Zerg's base, but not pressuring. So this does not make Zerg feel threatened, and there's lots of other ways for Zerg to get units out. So Zerg can still move freely around the map. It's easy to plague. It's easy to get eaten up piecemeal. We are gonna have a nice storm drop. Well, it doesn't actually end up killing that many drones, but it's a good thought. And Zerg just plays around it. If like you can camp Zerg's front if you're pressuring hard. Like if you're attacking in, dropping storms, if you have Reavers, things that make Zerg afraid, then it's not so bad. But to just sit there with your army outside doing nothing, I see a lot of newer Protosses do that because it feels powerful. But as a Zerg player, when Protoss just sits there, I don't care if they have 200 supply and they've got 12 Archons and 5 Reavers. If those things aren't attacking, I'm just like, oh, cool, okay. And then you just run units everywhere else, and your army is all defending one location. Zerg starts dropping, and then you have to pull back, but then everything's disorganized, and that's kind of an easy way to lose PvZ.
Not just that, but we saw it in this situation where the Zerg just ran like 12 lings out
Yep.
to third base.
Yeah, exactly.
And 12 lings out the natural, and that just gave a perfect surround, and that pretty much crushed that whole army. And now you just got mass crack lings and no army to back it up. Like the supplies are evening it out, and this is exactly where the Zerg started.
Yeah, because that all came from that army just being out there, not actually scaring Zerg, because they just start running everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
And you can't contain a Zerg, you know. It's not like Zerg only has one bridge and you can just know you're safe.
On paper, Sack's position was objectively better.
Yeah,
it's 4
good.
base against 6 base Protoss, or soon to be 6 base, right? All he had to do was maintain his army advantage, or at least army parity, and then, you know, like, it would have been okay. Like, he would have been in a decent position going into the late game. But now that the Zerg is pretty much even supplies with the Protoss, and he's now expanding, like, now the Protoss doesn't have an army to pressure the bottom right with. He just pretty much gave up all initiative in the game. Yeah,
that part is unfortunate because he can't do anything about the bottom right. Although I still think Sack's position is okay. He does have a defended third base. The Reavers should, or fifth base, whatever, top left. The Reavers should be positioned elsewhere. That's a bit vulnerable. He should really desperately have a gateway with Templars at 12. But if he does those two things, he's got half the map secured, which is just an okay position to play PvZ from.
Yeah.
And he's going to try to deny this, but I think this army is out here. Like, this is like a ninja army, and it might work because Telemachus doesn't have any map awareness, but against a better Zerg with map awareness, sending out a control group like this is just like, here, free units, eat me.
And these Reavers, yeah, as you said, they should be behind the cannons, but when Zerg just sends like a single streamline of Hydras, they just pretty much get eaten up like this.
Yeah. He has to bring defilers. Like, you cannot break something like this as a Zerg without using Ultra, or without using I guess maybe pure Ultra could do it, but really without using a defiler. Now, this group here, strategically it's a mistake, but in this game, the bigger mistake is Telemachus not having any sort of position set up there and scouting intel. So this group is actually going to be able to walk in here. No obs though, so this is... Oh, actually, wait, there is an obs. Oh, he's going to break this base, so this should not have worked for Sack. But
wait, at the same time though, the other natural of Sack, look
oh, he just dropped it. Okay, well, and that's another problem. Had those Reavers been back and the cannons in a better spot, there would have just been Reavers sitting there and he would not have ever lost this Nexus. Actually,
yeah,
oh my god, is he gonna... No, he's not gonna quite save it. But the position is still kind of... Actually, never mind. Yeah, he can just go up and drop in the main. So these drops are pretty good. But he is gonna get... Well, no, actually he's not gonna get the hatchery, so at least Telemachus will save half of his base. Unfortunately, those lurkers are a bit too strong. And now, of course, we're going to drop the main. Definitely going to clear out the top. Clear out most of the gateways. He needs to restart the Nexus at the bottom. He's left a Reaver at the front. He's left a Templar. That's good. Ah, the Reaver's like totally out in front of the bridge right now. So just some positioning things that can be tightened up here. God, crackling skill building's fast. Fuck.
This is about to be a slobber knocker, I feel like. I mean, this is already is one now, but like that one just kind of reset the situation. Now both these players are gonna probably. It's gonna be interesting to see if they decide to try to re-engage, which is it looks like what Sack is doing. If he's gonna try to go re-deny that base.
Oh, that's such a good lurker timing. That's like perfect. He's gonna burrow and be able to defend this. Good from Sack. Protoss is not busting that anytime soon. And I still don't particularly like the way that Sacrifice is using his units here. They're being used in too small of groupings to be effective.
I'm not sure how, like, I don't even think that this is intentional at this point. Like, I think he's just not hockeying his armies, because he has like 3 Zealots, 1 Templar, 1 Archon, 1 Templar on the left side. Then he has another 10 Zealots, 1 Reaver up there. Then he has another group over here. Like, this reminds me a lot of Morash, like, who just leaves random groups everywhere. It has to be as a result of, like, you know, drag, drop, and send, you know what I mean? As opposed to hockeying. That's something that only Zergs can get away with, really, with cheap links and stuff.
Yeah, you can do it with Zerg.
But with Protoss, you have to have your whole army hockeyed at once, especially considering the fact that you always want to be moving as one ball. And now we're going to see another engage where, like, again, there was, like...
Yeah, and just the Sack keeps trying to engage with, like, 1 control group armies. Yeah. Which doesn't work very well. I mean, it's working okay here because Telemachus, despite being maxed, doesn't seem to have his stuff organized. But, you know, a well-organized Zerg will coordinate everything over there and just eat these control groups one at a time super easily. You know, you really have to have... Like, you do end up with fighting with smaller armies later on because you leave more stuff back for defense, but you still need to have your main army reasonably together. And we have a massive drop coming up here. There's a Templar here, and there is a Reaver, but that timing is so good. If those 4 cannons were finished, this drop would have absolutely not worked, but now it might work. It looks like it will.
Storm was a little bit of a waste too, because this no ambulance on this.
If you would have had a couple more Templar, maybe some Corsairs, a few cannons, Preemptive Storm would have just slaughtered those Overlords, but it's not enough. So this top base is going to be denied again. And he has not rebuilt the bottom Nexus, so this is going to become an issue for Sack. And because Sack is splitting up his units here, trying to pressure in so many locations, he's not able to defend this top base. Uh-oh, do we get Templar just walking in here on their own?
Not just that, but he allowed the expansion to come up that he was supposedly blocking by sitting on the low ground, and the army that's sitting outside the natural that was supposed to be blocking reinforcements wasn't blocking reinforcements. So now this army's going to get pincered over here.
Yeah, and I just want to pause this right now. Now notice how there's a lurker field, but you know we've got a decent army here, but we got 3 Reavers, and then look at this, we got 2 more Archons, a control group, 4 Templars. Imagine if all of this army at the bottom right was at the left and was pressuring the natural. Like, Zerg is scared of that. 3 Reavers, 5 or 6 Templar, 4 or 5 Archons, Zealots, that's scary. But instead, the Zerg is fighting, oh, well, there's like 4 Zealots that are going to trickle into my Lurkers, and then there's these Reavers, but they're not really, they're back here in the fight, and then there's this other group that's not doing anything, that can't even break up, and it's just not, it's not scary.
Yeah.
Now,
and on top of that, like, he could have, I think it might have been even better to try to force your way up this, the high ground again, because if you think about it this way, the natural and the main of Zerg, like, yeah, it has tech, but it has 5 defilers there, it has more lurkers there. The other base, it has only like 3 lurkers on the high ground, no sunken colony, no spore. The observer sees that there's no Nidus canal or anything. Definitely a much more vulnerable position. So splitting your army this way, absolutely no benefit this way. You
know, now it is ending up having a little bit of benefit here, but that's more as a result of the way Telemachus is playing. Telemachus is often sending small little groups to attack, and honestly, this is some advice I got from Bakaru, and I think it's proven to be fantastic in most situations. And it's the idea of, if you're a Zerg player and you're going for like Hive or some sort of economic play, then basically just camp till you have 200 and then when you have 200 take all of your 200 and do something with it rather than little groups.
Yeah, because the part of the reason why Protoss is always ahead of Zerg in supply in like the mid game, the early game, isn't just because Protoss army costs more supply in general. Like, it's because of the fact that like those armies fight evenly. Like so, like 100 supply Zerg army will fight evenly with 120 to 140 supply Protoss army. So when Protoss caps out at 200, and Zerg can fight that relatively evenly at like 170, 180, probably depending on composition. But at 200, 200, now it's really tough for Protoss to trade well against that. And that's exactly what Protoss is scared of trading poorly against Zerg. Zerg will always produce more than Protoss does. And especially, this is confusing to me because Telemachus has used this path around his third before to circumvent like this position that Sack is taking. Why doesn't he just send his Hydras and Zerglings to his third?
Yeah, I mean, Telemachus has a bunch of stuff. He really should just start moving all of it, like at this bottom left group. Like unburrow the lurkers, bring them forward, but you know, get the lings from your third attacking, get the lings from your sixth attacking, and if all of that converges on this small army, it's just going to melt with no losses. But instead, he keeps trickling in small numbers of units.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Protoss wants. Like, he's playing into Sack's bad decision.
Yeah. And then it ends up being a little weird because, like, the trades aren't, like, comically inefficient for Telemachus because often the times there are units that are standing too far out from their buddies. And so, like, the Cracklings are sort of trading effectively, but then they end up running into the Protoss ball. So it's kind of weird how this is all trading out.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean...
Now this army is finally getting cleared out, it looks like.
Yeah, Sack is hurting right now. I mean...
Also, he should really get Hydra speed. It's annoying me that we've had slow Hydras for a long time.
30 minutes, yeah.
Well, and he's been actively making and using Hydras for the past 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And there's still no sign of a speed upgrade. I don't know what he has against Hydra speed, but he's got something against... Oh, he's actually starting to break the 4th position, too.
Yeah, the Reaver, there was only one Reaver there, not enough cannons, and it was...
So now he's going to break it. So this is going to be a pretty... This is basically going to seal the game, I think. There's no defense here. There's no real army on the map. There's a couple Archons, but now...
Broke.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he needed to hold on to these bases, but they're both going to get broken now. I think Telemachus will just stream units here. If he brings a few Lurkers up, God, he could just put a few Lurkers at the ramp and then go up and kill the base. I don't think that's going to happen, and I think the continued waves of units will still break him. But strategically, that would probably be the best response. Is he ever going to realize that his Hydra are slow? It doesn't look like it. Slow Hydra!
Ooh, and also, we noticed that the Reaver got the Reaver capacity upgrade. I would say pretty much never do that. Because doing that, every Reaver will cost an extra 75 minerals, pretty much, that you essentially don't have to use. It's better to just keep it at 5. Getting 10 is a waste, and it's also a 200-200 upgrade.
Yeah, especially given what's here, it's really making me sad that Telemachus doesn't want to pull his Lurkers and bring, you know, a control group of Lurkers up here as well.
But I mean, Telemachus is just in such a better position now. I mean, he's been able to hold on to these bottom bases for so long. I feel like this is the moment where some drop harass would have been ideal. Like, just make 4 DTs in one shuttle, and like as soon as you manage to secure this top left, and drop it on this bottom right main. That would be devastating for Telemachus.
I wish Telemachus would send in most of what he has, but he keeps just using these small little groups of units where Protoss can trade effectively.
Archons fighting outside the range of cannons and Templar.
Yeah, that's not so good. But adding in the Hydra is really nice, because Pure Ling obviously is not going to fight that well against Archons. Yeah. So having in those Hydra... Oh, we finally brought a Defiler. Good choice. Now just need a Swarm. You have enough for a Swarm. Put a Swarm on these morphing cannons. Alright, it's just Templar now. And the cannons are going to go down. Probably. Huh.
Yeah, 1 HP.
We're like watching a group of Lings fight against cannons at 32 minutes with a 5-base Zerg. But this Nexus will fall. And that's going to make it down to basically 1 base mining. And no Reavers, no support left, so this base is finally going to break out. Zealots are coming in here, but it appears to be just pure Zealots, and the Archons, again, are not coordinated with the army here.
Yeah, pro tip, don't get Reaver capacity upgrade until you've gotten Templar energy upgrade. That's the absolute minimum.
Yeah, and Templar energy upgrade doesn't need to be rushed, but certainly as you move towards 4 bases, you want to be thinking about having it, because it's really powerful for base defense. It's not that great in battles, because battles tend to go fast enough that you don't get a chance to cast 3 storms with every Templar, but from a defensive perspective, it's godly.
Yep. Could have changed the way that the first drop on the main played out, for example, or the second one, I don't remember which.
But now no more money here for Sack, and GG is imminent.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. We're also taking the middle as Zerg. That's a good move in this situation, I think. Just really cement that economic advantage.
Sure.
look at the gas from Melonmonkey. It should be noted that he hasn't made a single ultra game.
Yeah.
That's, I think you could start thinking about that at like maybe not right now, obviously, because he's low on minerals. But earlier, it wouldn't have been so bad to add some ultras.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's 5 Archon.
Yeah, pure Archon army. Enough Hydras here though that they'll start to clear these Archons pretty easily. Oh, some of the Lings just kind of running by. Archon numbers whittling down. Should be having a GG here, and it's going to look like a 2-0 here for Telemachus. The Archon is going to fall. The Templar are dying. There's 2 more Archons, but... finally, we bring the Lurker Brigade. The Lurker Brigade, and GG is called at the sight of Lurkers.
Wow, GG.
Telemachus will be... I have trouble finding games close to my level. You should join our new player Discord. If you don't like 2v2 and 3v3, then yeah, I guess that's fine. But... I don't know, methinks you probably haven't played 2v2 or 3v3 with just some like good fun people.
Like,
yeah. Like 2v2 and 3v3 with like friends is fucking fun as fuck, in my opinion. Like some of the most fun I've had is just being like in voice chat and just, you know, doing stupid shit, micro tournaments or 2v2s or 3v3s with people I know or friends, and just fucking around and trash talking each other as you do stupid shit. It's great.
Yeah, not just that, like you could cheat a little bit and go into pub games and bring like one good player with you, and then you know you do stupid stuff. Like we won a game recently where one guy went mass tank, I went mass corsair, and the other guy went like nukes or something like that, and we managed to win because apparently corsair tank is really good. So like there was a guy who was like turtling with his siege tank, so I de-webbed, and then my boy would roll up and siege up, and then like that guy would siege up and I would de-web, and he would have to unsiege and pull back, and then he would move up and siege up. It was absurd.
And then,
anyway, dude,
and then Abstract Daddy's saying, I'm not particularly new, just not motivated to maintain skill level. And I would say, yeah, that's fine. Like, who gives a fuck about skill level, man? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't, like, it's like, sometimes I think people forget, because Team Liquid tends to be a competitive community, like, people tend to forget that Brood War, at the end of the day, it's a game. You play games for fun. Like, if working on skill level is fun for you, work on skill level. But at the end of the day, you're playing a game to have fun. So, you know, who gives a fuck about skill level? Just play. You know, if you're not motivated to maintain skill level, then have a couple buddies that you hop on and play with once a week when you get that little itch to play Brood War, and just have some fun with your buddies or whatever, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's also important that like not everyone expects you to have full commitment all the time. No one's gonna be lmaster, you know what I mean? Where like, you know, he's streaming, he's at his Discord, he's doing whatever. Like he's not gonna be. No one expects you to be there every day, like, you know, at this time to play with this person. You know, like you don't have to live that way. You can just play whenever the fuck you feel like.
And in all honesty, in my case, if you want a little bit of secret, the reason I do this is because, to be honest, it's fun for me. You know, I haven't overextended myself, and I enjoy coaching. I enjoy helping out. I enjoy casting. You know, I just those kind of things. That's fun to me. I enjoy hanging out, and that's one of the things I do with Brood War. And I mean, I guess that's the reason I never had the problem with playing or not playing, is I've just always done what's fun for me. Now I tend to be a competitive mofo, and I really like getting better at things and focusing on a few things. So for me, fun with Brood War is playing 50 games against the AI, grinding out, you know, macro. Like that's legitimately fun for me. It's not for 99% of people. But I've just always done the things that are fun, so I've never like gotten burnt out or whatever.
Anyway, man, it's been a ride, but I don't think I can do any more, dude. I have to go do some other stuff. I did not expect like, you know, like 3.5 hours or more. You know, like I thought like 3 hours, like yeah, that should be okay. But yo, you're on your own from now on, dude.
Right,
I'm sorry.
All right, man, it's all good. Thanks for the support through the first 4 hours or 3 hours and 48 minutes. And